mastermind of magic, and the reason half of us are still waiting for a Hogwarts dinner. Give it up for J.K. Rowling. Thank you, ma'am, for being able to give to this grade. It's an absolute privilege to have you here. Please have a seat, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, as a lifelong fan of the Harry Potter series, I've always been fascinated with the depth of the magical world that you have created. So I would love to ask you, what was the inspiration behind Harry Potter?
Well, it is a coincidental story. I think it was 1990 when I was traveling from Manchester to King's Cross in London and my train got delayed. And I was sitting idly laughing at my, crying at my stupid life when I reminded myself of Ian Potter, my childhood friend. And it just struck me, Harry Potter. Because Ian was so mischievous and so was Harry Potter. So I started working on it, I started writing, and when I did, everything just kept coming to me. The character, the story, the tone, just everything.
Well, that seems more like a coincidence. Tell me about your writing. I mean, what's the schedule on that?
Well, it's quite busy. I start at 9 in the morning when I continue work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I stay consistent. I do not take breaks. But yes, I do need 8 to 9 cups of coffee in between, and that I'm incredibly clumsy that I need to eat something in between or else,
8 to 9 cups of coffee?
Yeah, that's weird, I know.
That's when Dobby started sounding like a caffeinated creature in book 5.
That's funny.
Ma'am, since you mostly write fiction novels, how do you approach writing books of different genres?
Well, a writer cannot just stay dependent on fictional novels. People have seen me writing fictional every time. But as a writer, I know it is very essential to write on every genre. So, the best thing that works for me is the tone. Because when you are writing, you have to keep in mind which tone you are using. If I am writing a crime fiction, I probably would not be using the same tone which I was in Harry Potter. So, yeah, the best thing that works for me is the tone.
What do you think about the film adaptations of the books?
About Harry Potter, I was quite satisfied actually because filmmakers respected me, I respected their vision, everything is going so fine. And the actors, the directors, everyone, it's so magical, And the films, they are respecting my idea, which is the most important thing for a writer. And when it is taken to a bigger level, on a bigger platform, it is so important for a writer to foster literacy among young children, among young women and men. So it's very important. I have felt satisfied myself. That was the most important thing for me.
Ma'am, I'm still waiting for my Hogwarts letter.
Well, you should. That's nice.
What are your thoughts on the impact of your work in society?
I think I have done enough in my life. But I want young women, I want young children to learn from me. I want to act an inspiration for them. Because in my time, a female writer was nothing to people. Being a female, I had, faced a lot of difficulties. And I still remember the time when I was rejected from everywhere and I had all the doors closed at my face. So that was very difficult for me, and I think today when I write, I think that I am, highlighting all those issues which are very important: social injustice, prejudice, women equality, and everything. So I think I need a lot more to do in my life, yet I have done enough. So that's
such a thoughtful response of you. And at last, what advice would you give to aspiring writers?
I think persistence is the best key to success. If you are giving up on every level, you just cannot reach to success because it's not an easy path. If I had given up that day when I had rejections to Harry Potter, books, I would not have been here. But I stay consistent. I knew to find the voice which is hidden deep beneath them and to understand the meaning of their voice and to stand up for themselves.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming here and for letting us know your thoughts. We wish to talk to you once again soon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Today we have privilege of hosting the most iconic and beloved actress in the Indian cinema, the timeless beauty, the uncomparable Madhu. Today we will be discussing her incredible journey, her challenges she faced as a young girl in this industry, and her experiences she had with some of the greatest directors in her time. So without further delays, please welcome the one and only Madhubala with a huge round of applause. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. We are thrilled to know about your thoughts on this special career. Please have a seat. Thank you. Ma'am, we are very curious about your career and we are having some of the queries related to that. So jumping upon the first one, could you tell us about your childhood and how it shaped your career? I was born as Mumtaz Zahin Begum Dehebi in a conservative Pashtun family of Delhi. You know, my father lost his job, which led to financial hardships in our family. So, in order to support, I joined the film industry at the age of 9. My first film as a child artist was Basant, and you know, it did not feel a large thing at that time. But when I look upon, I feel that it was a big achievement of mine at a very minor age. It was really fantastic to hear about that. Moving upon our next query. What challenges did you face as a young girl entering in the glamorous world of cinema? You know, it was not easy. I had to balance my family's expectations with the demands of the industry. I often felt overwhelmed, but my passion for acting kept me going. And you know, this family, and that's when my family came over. I was scared by my mother. My father was very protective, and he managed my career. Your ability to stay focused and committed was truly inspiring for me. Further, jumping on our next query, you're often referred as the Venus of Indian cinema. How you earned this name? That's a classic question indeed. I believe that it was the combination of my beauty, grace, and the roles I portrayed on the screen. My performances in movies like Mughal Azam, Tarana, Chalti Ka Naam Gaadi have left a lasting impression on audiences and critics alike. That was incredible. I have seen that you have worked with so many films. How will you manage to balance the different genres in your filmography? Well, I believe in versatility. From comedies like Chalti Ka Naam Gaadi to romantic dramas like Tarana to mythological epics and one of my favorites, Mughal Azam. I have embraced every genre with enthusiasm and dedication. Okay. I can see that Mughal Azam was a great film. So what was your experience working in that? Mughal Azam indeed was a monumental film, and being Anarkali was equally rewarding and challenging. You know, the role demanded immense emotional depth, and the elaborate costumes and sets added to the grandeur. The movies, the songs, especially the song Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya, which was filmed in the Hall of Mirrors, was physically taxing. But the love and admiration I received made it all worthwhile. That was truly incredible. One last classic query, that how do you feel about the way you are remembered? Oh my God, I've got a mix of feelings I cannot express, but I believe that I am humbled by the love and admiration people still have for me. My works in movies like Mughal Azam continues to be celebrated, and I am grateful to have left a mark on the Indian cinema. It is so refreshing to hear about your humble and perspective on such a celebrated career. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your precious
and giving answers to our queries. So, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts because our next segment is going to be even more interesting. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the brilliant minds of BPSG. Today, we are honored to welcome a legend, a genius, and a true inspiration. The one and only Shakuntala Devi, the famously known as the human computer. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here with such enthusiastic young minds.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving us some of your precious time. Please have a seat. Our young minds over here are extremely curious to know more about your life. If you don't mind, will I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, for sure.
To begin with, could you tell us a little more about yourself?
Certainly, I was born and brought up in Bangalore, and I discovered my beautiful number very early in life. And even my father recognized my talent and began taking me to perform at universities when I was just a child.
I see. To be so talented at such a young age, your childhood must have been exceptional. Can we know what exactly your childhood was like?
Well, very unique. I didn't go to school, but still I was constantly learning. My mind was always playing with numbers, and math was my favorite game.
I see you mentioned mathematics over here. Everybody knows about your love for the subject. So did you always love maths this much, or did it just gradually develop till this point?
Absolutely. Numbers have rhythm and beauty of their own. And for me, maths was never boring. It was so exciting and full of surprises.
You know, you're called a human computer. How did that name come about, and how do you feel about it?
Well, the title came after I performed some calculations that even computers couldn't match in speed. One of my most famous achievements was multiplying to 13 digits number in just 28 seconds. And I really feel proud to hold that title as it reminds me of my love for mathematics.
Just 28 seconds! I can't even imagine how stressful that must have been. But I heard that achievement of yours was even recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records. But besides maths, what else are you passionate about?
Along with maths, I also have many other interests. I wrote books on puzzles, astrology, and even novels. I believe in exploring life and breaking the stereotypes.
It's fantastic! It seems like maths isn't your only love.
Yeah, sure, but it is my only true love.
Now, what will you to say to students over here who fear maths?
So for all those students and even adults who fear maths, I would like to say that fear comes from misunderstanding. Don't memorize, understand. And you know what? Math is completely logical. And once you see that, it will become completely enjoyable for you. So practice it regularly and you will definitely improve.
You're right. I remember my father used to berate me during my school time. He used to tell me to study maths very seriously, but I never listened to him. I was in my rebellious teenage years. But now, looking at your example, I feel so foolish and ashamed. But enough about me. Let's talk more about you. Despite not going to school, you became world famous. What is your message for the students in the audience?
I just want to say that believe in yourself. School is important, but your curiosity, confidence, and passion are even more powerful. So, you can achieve everything if you stay determined and keep on learning.
Now here comes the fun part. Let's challenge that brilliant mind of yours. Can you tell us the square of 987?
That is 947169.
That's correct. How about 763 into 849?
Well, that's 647487.
Okay, it's correct. How did you do it? But now the cube of 23?
Oh, that's easy. It's 12167.
Okay, I believe in your answer. I should won't doubt you now. So what's 3,456 into 789.
Okay, that would be 2725584.
And what is 9,999 squared?
Oh, that's a classic one. The answer is 99980,001.
Okay, last one. Square root of 2,401.
That's 49.
Everything is correct, ma'am.
It's quick and fun for me.
Really, you're brilliant. I'm sure everybody over here will agree with me that you really do deserve your title. Now, do you have a quick math tip for our audience?
Well, a maths tip. Yeah, for sure I have a short and simple one. So the trick is about finding the square of any numbers with end with 5. Let's say 85. If you want to find the square of 85, so choose the number which is coming before 5, which is 8. Now pick the next consecutive number, which is 9. Now multiply both 8 and 9, and the answer will be 72. Now add 25 in the end, and we will get 7225, and it's the square of 85. See, we can find.
That's really helpful. Finally, how would you like the world to remember you?
Well, I hope to be remembered not just for my mathematical abilities, but for my efforts to make maths accessible and enjoyable. I spent most of my life simplifying mathematical calculations and authorized books on puzzles and mathematics. Additionally, I also established the Shakuntala Devi Education Foundation Public Trust to provide quality education to the underprivileged child that I myself was not able to get during my childhood. My legacy, I hope, inspires others to embrace knowledge, challenge the norms, and pursue their passions fearlessly.
That's really inspiring. Now, thank you, ma'am, for sharing your brilliance and inspiring us today.
Thank you, and remember, maths isn't just about numbers, it's about thinking. Embrace it and it will open doors for you.
That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. Stay tuned to Brilliant Minds of BPSG for such episodes at 5 p.m. every day. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you.